love Mike Hanson Archives.
Get ready to run.
Look who we got here. Somebody that we haven't seen in about 20 years is
Hello there.
Late and great
Good to see you.
George Humphrey.
Yes. Oh my goodness! I see who it is. Yes.
Tell us what you've been up to.
Oh my goodness! Isn't this a great day?
Yes.
It is amazing.
Tell us why you're here. Hurry, because it's my Facebook.
My heart is heavy for the world, but my heart is also happy for the good people here. We need to get back to work, and we need to realize that this cure, it's not a cure. It's not about a virus. It's about political control. And we are free and sovereign, and we have the choice to either be slaves or to be free. I choose to be free. Yes.
Well, guess what I did? I bought about $20,000 worth of editing equipment and hired some people to put all the tapes on for the last 25 years, and you're on there. So I want you to, and I'm gonna plug my YouTube channel.
Okay, great.
Mike Hanson
Of course,
Archives,
of course.
Hanson Archives, and Waco
I
Archives.
didn't recognize you at the start.
Okay, so I need you to say, this is George Humphrey, and I love Mike Hanson Archives.
This is George Humphrey, and this guy is awesome. Mike Hanson, the Mike Hanson Archives. Check it out.
You're on there. We just put about 3 tapes of you on there, and you had slick black hair then.
Now it's all dyed.
All right. God bless y'all. We'll see you in a minute.
9 o'clock a.m. Texas Best Seminars, 7300 North IH-35. Right up here at 1 o'clock on the south side of the Capitol is a gun rally. Tuesday, I'd like to ask you all to come down to the Travis County Commissioners Court right up here on in the Stokes building, right across from the Travis County Courthouse. I'm going to be presenting a resolution to the Travis County Commissioners rejecting regional government. And if you all know how this regionalism plays into the New World Order mechanism, and it's an important first step to try to educate our commissioners as to how the funding mechanism of regionalism is being used to overpower the counties, the cities, and the states. By the way, we are in Region 6. There are 10 economic regions set up. Basically, the country is the policy is being directed by unelected regional bureaucrats. And we in Texas live in Region 6. And the headquarters in Dallas, Fort Worth, and I've had this confirmed to me by the Federal Information Service. So this coming Tuesday, we're going to be down at the Travis County Commissioners Court at 9 o'clock a.m. And I'd appreciate people to come down there. I'll have the documentation there if you show up, and I'm going to go ahead and present that documentation to the Travis County Commissioners. I want to go ahead and bring up a friend of mine who's a former Austin City Council member. He's got to run, so I'm going to bring him up here real quick to talk to us. George Humphrey.
Thank you, Jeff. Before I get going, there's a lot of people here I know and a lot of people here I don't know. But if you've taken the time to come on down here, you've taken the time to think about what's really important for our country. And even though we're just a handful of people right now, the issues that we're going to be talking about today are as important as the issues that took place during the Revolutionary War. We are talking about the essence of freedom for the people of this country and the freedom for the people of this world. And so never, ever, ever underestimate the issues that we're talking about. Now, before I get going, I want to thank Jeff very much. Jeff is kind of the grandfather of the Liberty movement here in Austin, Texas. Jeff had the very, very first show and has been slugging it out for a long time. And when Jeff first started, there weren't any other shows on TV. And now there's 4 or 5 or 6 others. And even though we're still small in number, we're growing very quickly. So the first thing, I think all of us should give Jeff a really big hand of applause. And I really mean that. Jeff, like a lot of people, have taken a lot of criticism, but he's been very brave. He stood up and looked people in the eye. And each and every one of us, if we truly believe in the Bill of Rights, if we believe in the ideals of the Constitution, all of us are going to have some very, very interesting times the next couple of years. because the forces of darkness, the forces of lies, the forces of ignorance are going to try and stop us, because each and every one of you represents the truth. And each and every one of you are standing up for what is extremely important. And what we here in Texas, we fought a war about independence. And if we don't have the courage, if we don't have the fortitude to believe in the Republic and to believe in freedom, and most importantly, to believe in God, whatever your religion, we have to realize that this is not only a political and an economic issue, this is spiritual warfare, what's going on. The forces of ignorance and the forces of darkness are behind the power elite. And I think each and every person out here realizes that we are facing some very dark and occult energy. And no matter whether you're Methodist or whether you're Jewish or whether you're Muslim or whether you're Catholic or whether you're something else, the way to start this thing and the way to keep going is every day we have to pray to God. We have to pray to God for guidance. We have to pray to God for knowledge. We have to pray to God for wisdom. Because the people who we are up against control the banks, they control the Federal Reserve, they control Newsweek, they control Time Magazine, they control all the media, ABC, NBC, CBS, they control all the movie theaters. But folks, even though they have a lot more money than we do, we have the truth behind us. And folks, when we have the truth behind us, that's more powerful than anything you can ask for. We have to have courage in these coming days. We have to abolish the IRS. We have to stop this total charade called the Federal Reserve System. We have to stop the IMF. We have to stop all the injustices in all the many myriad ways that these people are stealing and destroying the middle class. We have to work for justice. We have to support our police over here. They are the good guys. They are the good guys. And we have to support them, because the bad guys, the people, the power elite, are controlling them and telling them lie after lie after lie after lie. And most of the people who have gone in police have done so because they truly want to serve and protect. And we have to see them as our friends and our supporters. We also have to become very aware that the United Nations is not what it pretends to be. When I was a little kid, I was told the United Nations were the good guys. They were feeding kids. They were doing all this stuff. It is all a lie. I believe in international cooperation, and I believe in countries working together, and that makes sense. And there needs to be international justice. But the United Nations, for the folks who have never heard this for the first time, is controlled by the forces of darkness. They are controlled by the forces of darkness. All you have to do is look at what has happened in Korea, Katanga, Somalia, Bosnia. You have to look at the Constitution of the United Nations, which was written by Alger Hiss. No more does the United Nations want to serve and protect the sovereignty of the United States. They don't. What they want to do is create an international globalism based upon materiality and the forgetting of God. Folks, what we're doing today is very symbolic, but it is extremely important. And every great movement starts with a small step. Each and every person out here, whether you know a whole lot or know just a little, are so important. So important, no matter how much money you've got, no matter what your position is, no matter what your age. Every one of you is important to the freedom of this country. Don't forget it. We have to believe in ourselves. We have to stand together. We have to realize that we're brothers and sisters. We have to pray to God, and we have to work for righteousness. We have to work to support the Republic of the United States of America.
Amen.
Again, each and every one of you are so important. We need to work within the law, but we need to work with might and justice and courage. And just a few of us, if we do our homework and work together cooperatively, can make a tremendous amount of difference. 10 years ago, they would have said we're all crazy. 5 years ago, after Waco, people start thinking. Now, wherever you go, people realize that there are lies, and more damn lies. And they are taking our money, they are suppressing us, and they want to be our slave masters. That sounds extreme. It is not, my friends. We have to believe in our community, our families, our state, and our republic. Again, I want to thank Jeff for doing a wonderful job. Putting these things together takes a tremendous amount of work. And again, Jeff has been in there for a long, long time. And I see Wes here. I'm sure Alex is going to be here. Rusty's going to be here. And all of you who've worked on the Access shows, who've gone out, who are here, Steve Mason, all of you are so important. And I'm very honored to be able to speak to you. Thank you very much.
All right.
He had some credibility. Rick, did you want to say something? Come on up here, Rick. Rick Hallbecker, folks. He's
beautiful day. My small contribution to what we're doing here today is to try and open up a dialogue between law enforcement and the citizenry that they are to protect and serve. You might frequent this young lady's website, Freedom Lovers International. Just go through your search engine thing and you'll find it, and you'll see a dialogue that I think I've began. And so far it's one way. I'd like to see it work both ways. Maybe some members of the law enforcement profession. I want you to understand what the law enforcement mission is supposed to be. When you encounter bad law enforcement, you'll know what it is. And you'll know what to do something about it in a constructive, within the system manner that will make a positive change for that agency, personally for that officer involved, and for you as a citizen. What we have today is a court system that says that all the rules, all the knowledge that that everyone should have about what our law enforcement is and is not, does not belong to the citizen. For instance, last year's Supreme Court decision. Anybody here wearing a badge, correct me, Ohio v. Romanette. The court definitely said they don't have to tell you that you don't have to have your car searched. He's going to write you a ticket or give you a verbal warning and cut you loose, but at the last minute he says, hey, do you mind if I do a little search in your car? Well, if you say yes, he's going bumper to bumper on that sucker, unless you restrict the scope of that search. Now, I'm not an attorney. I'm not going to tell you what to do about a specific problem you might have in our court system today. But just as a researcher, as a legal assistant, and a former sworn officer, I can tell you right now that that kind of thing is an abuse. It's going on too often, and if they ever have to ask you folks, it's because they don't have the legal right. And don't give them the right to search your damn property unless you just feel like you just have nothing to hide. And there are some of us walking around today that have that attitude. Well, I got nothing to hide. Well, you certainly won't have anything to hide when the feds come looking for you. They want to search you, your car, your apartment, your business, whatever. Frankly, this is supposed to be a country where you have that option. And by God, as long as we have a Supreme Court and a Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals, I believe we're going to have the right to refuse. But we have to be knowledgeable of that right. Now, I'm asking you to work. I'm asking you to visit this website I just mentioned, this young lady produces, and I write to, and I think others are going to start writing to. I want you to start visiting these things and teaching yourselves. It's going to be work to win and keep your freedoms. It's never been an easy thing. But I'm devoting my good name, my fortune, and my talents to trying to help you people. And I want a dialogue. If there's a man down here with a badge on that disagrees with me, I want him to dialogue with me. Let's get into a back and forth about reasonable suspicion, probable cause, the right to search, consent to search, things that you and I deserve to know about. It's written in our court opinions. It's public record. It's just that a lot of us don't have the training or the time or just the want to explore it and find it for ourselves. That's where guys like me come in. It's my personal bag to watch the police things. Okay, it's my personal bag to watch those kind of things. I get off on it. You might get off on camping or whatever you do, but enjoy it. I enjoy what I do, and that's my small contribution. Again, I want to thank you for being here. There's a lot of other places you could be today, but you guys are patriots. You're here because you love your country. There's nothing wrong with you. You love rock and roll music like I do, you know. You like camping and barbecue. You're normal folks. Ain't a one of you from Mars. You're a good American citizen for taking the time to be here, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, you got that right. So hurry.
Okay, folks, I'm going to bring up my webmaster. If you all on the internet, I do have a website now. We don't have any flyers, but I want to bring Mike Moore up here just briefly to tell you a little bit about the power of the internet and whatever else he wants to talk about. Mike Moore.
Yeah, thank you, Jeff. God bless every one of you for being out here today. It does take a lot of courage and stuff to get out here and get involved. I know about a year ago I was probably where many of you are right now, looking on the outside, looking at us and what we're doing, and wondering, well, God, there's something must be wrong with those people. You're right, there is something wrong with us. We care about the Republic, we care about freedom, and we care about all of you out there. I took my skills as a computer programmer and I put it to work for Jeff Davis about 6 months ago, getting his website up and running, getting him involved in the internet and getting connected to other people that believe in the same things we do. It's very important. Every one of you has the skills to do whatever it takes, be it communicating with other people, putting out newsletters, flyers, organizing protests such as this one, whatever it takes. We must all get involved and start getting a dialogue with one another and letting everybody know what exactly is going on. I don't like the UN, I'll be honest with you right now. The UN is an unelected, I've done my research on this, the UN are unelected bureaucrats who want to do nothing but take our freedom from us and enslave us all. If you read into the language on their own website at www.un.org, you'll find this out. Many of their tenets that they stand on as far as their 10 directives that they enforce on international peace, states, one of them states that they're not allowed to get involved in the affairs of other countries. If you look at the news anytime recently, that's all they've been doing. That is everything that they've been doing. They've been getting involved in every other country instead of letting countries come together and talk amongst themselves and get their own problems solved. You know, granted, you know, it's a good idea that those countries need to take care of their own situations, but they don't need bureaucracy telling them what to do, especially when the bureaucrats care nothing about the money. With that, I'm going to let Jeff handle it stuff.
Oh, come on, Mr. Jeff.
Yeah. But I am a hard worker.
He's a good
I am a hard worker. I believe in freedom. I believe in this country. And if it wasn't for God telling me what to do and telling me to get involved in doing it, I would not be here today. I believe in it.
God ain't tell you what money tell you what to do.
I don't believe in money. I'm real poor, and I'll let everybody know that. I don't care about money. I care about making my bills like everyone else, but by the same token.
Can I tell you something?
Sure. In fact, I'm going to bring the microphone down to you here.
You ain't got to, I'm already here. All right. Thank you, sir.
It is the best and most comprehensive book on Bohemian Grove, and it's written by Mike Hanson, my old camera guy. Mike Hanson Archives.
To support this channel, I just got a new box of books in, and I will send you a signed copy if you want to write us here at P.O. Box 481, Gonzales, Texas 78629. Send $25 and we will send you don't send any shipping, just send $25 and we'll use it to put more VHS tapes up. Look at that. Good Alex right there. Okay, and then also if you want to call, there's the box of books. If you want to call, I don't hear no phones ringing in there yet. If you want to call here, we got people answering the phones here. I don't hear no phones ringing yet. If you want to call us, our phone number is 830-672-3089. I got that right this time, didn't I? Okay, and look, there's the phones ringing. Okay, and then we got people over here working hard on putting tapes up tonight, right? Okay.
It is the best and most comprehensive book on Bohemian Grove, and it's written by Mike Hanson, my old camera guy.
Mike Hanson Archives.
You ready to run? All right. Take it away.
Look. Don't deceive yourself. These people running around here try to tell you that they love you. They trust in you. Wear their flag, all that kind of stuff. From behind their back, guess what? Just like Clinton, I'm sorry. Lie and then say I'm sorry. What kind of stuff is that? He's the epitome of what president supposed to be anyway. We don't want no draft dodgers. We don't know dope smokers, but you know he need the hell. Amen. And then turn around, get on TV for 7 hours and lie about it again. Let me tell you, this is what y'all do. How you doing, Larry? What do the Constitution say? Just because I can't say Constitution good, don't mean I can't spell potato. Now listen, what do y'all need with all that kind of stuff? Now, our kids run around, man, ain't got no parents, ain't got no way to talk to their parents, and every time they want to talk to their daddies, I'm talking about the fathers. You keep on waiting. How can you have a man to pay child support when you keep it with no money? And then talking about healing. Unfit father. What's wrong with the world today? Wait a minute, I got something else I want to say. Ain't no such thing as telling the truth and then wind up taking the truth from it. You see that? You see that house back there? Everybody in Texas own a piece of that, right? Well, you might well go and sell yours because it's done been sold.
It's correct.
Now, when you raise hell about they gonna throw you in jail hands, charge you a whole bunch of money, and keep you broke. Now, Governor Bush, let a man food enough, oh God, baby, but I tell you what, he ain't no good but earthly.
Right.
He ain't no good. You know why I tell you that? I'm gonna tell you a whole bunch of reasons. Y'all know a whole bunch of reasons why I tell you that, but I'm gonna tell you a whole bunch of them. About 2 more minutes worth of, and you figure out the rest. Here, man, there's Pappy. What I call that self, close down Texas. Let me tell you something. He gonna say, well, listen, we gonna put him by 2x4. That means 4 niggas, 2 Mexicans, and 1 white man on chain. What good that do? When they come out of there, you know what they be back on chain gang. Look, how much I got that? Let's wrap it up. Okay, you know what?
United Nations wants to make slaves out of all of us. Okay?
Good. Okay, let me tell you. Well, I got 1 minute to wrap it up. Hey, since y'all wanna talk about census, see, you don't know how to count black people. Those that locked up can't vote. Those that out won't vote. And the other third will not vote because they don't know what that's do about. Because all y'all lied. What lie when the truth is right there in front of your face. I rest my case. My 2 minutes up. God bless y'all. I'm gonna go to Philadelphia and I'll put in my $200 bill and run for president. Vote for me. Thank you. I ain't gonna vote for nobody that won't vote for me. I love you. And God bless you.
Thank you. Marie PD officer.
Thanks. This was kind of a surprise for me here. I don't really have a whole lot of anything to say, but although if y'all listen to our show, I can always come up with something to rant about. So I appreciate everybody showing up out here. I know this is, to me, it's a real important thing to just to, you know, to get up in front of your family and friends and stand up. You know, I think a lot of us get busy. We've got so many other things to do. You know, in this country, we kind of take our freedoms for granted, and unfortunately, they're being taken away from us at a real rapid rate here. Everybody needs to do their own research on this United Nations thing. I know you kind of, you know, people wander up here and hear us, you know, talking about how evil it is and how bad. But I guarantee you, if you do a little bit of research on it of your own, you know, keep your mind open, you'll find that it's a bad thing. And again, as Jeff was saying, myself and Mike Runyan, we do a little radio show on Keith Perry's station on 95.9, a little micro broadcast station up in Leander. And my point there is, I think, you know, I'm a former U.S. Marine. I'm a former Austin policeman here for about 8.5 years or so.
Semper Fi, brother.
But thank you. Well, and I meant to tell you a long time, Recon. I appreciate the things you did for this country when I was in, from about 79 to 83. Wasn't a whole lot happening, but so
you were ready.
I was ready, but like I say, we owe a lot to Vietnam veterans like Recon that went out there and put their life and watched their friends die out there for this country, even what we have left of this country. And that's why he's here. He's willing to fight and die and stand up for these principles. So I think something that's probably all of us are willing to do, if pushed to that point, and you should be willing to. But again, you know, my point there is everybody can do something. You know, you got a couple of nobodies like me and Mike Runyan, really. I mean, we work and have families and do our things, but you know, we kind of had an opportunity to get on a show or get on the radio and just rant and complain about things that are wrong and have callers call in and discuss. It's something all of us can do. There's more spots on Keith Perry's show. There's the shows like Jeff Davis does down there at Austin Access, for those of you that are into the television portion. But everybody can do a little something to help this. You know, there's that story about, you know, everybody's going to keep waiting until there's nobody else to turn to and everything's gone. I know tomorrow at 1 o'clock here again, we have a gun rally that's going to occur. I hope a lot of you guys will be here for that. We're being disarmed in this country. I personally believe, you know, in our show, if you tune in, we talk a little bit about guns, maybe more than some people want to, but you know, guns aren't just for your own personal protection and the protection of your family. Guns are out there to help us defend ourselves from our own government when it becomes tyrannical to the point that are taking rights away from us. We'll have to resist someday, and frankly, I believe we'll have to do that with guns at some point in our lifetime, and that's sad. But refuse to be disarmed, and get up and go to these things and talk about it. November 30th, they're taking more of our rights away. You know, Brady 2 is being introduced to us. We'll all get to go. Yeah, Brady 3 is coming, and we'll all get to go. You know, stand in line and just to get a weapon worked on, you're going to have to prove you're not a bad person. You know, you have to go through all these checks, and it's just wrong. You know, the Second Amendment is not written for the protection of the state. It's written for the protection of individuals. It's the right of the people to keep and bear arms. So, and I guarantee you, if you're a Second Amendment fan and you care about that, you're going to automatically be against the United Nations, because they are rapidly, through the UN, disarming countries. And again, you don't have to look far to see, you know, the genocide that occurs in countries where they're disarmed. And again, I want to appreciate the time to come up here and listen to 95.9 when you're up kind of northwest. Tune in Detroit, and they've got a station now south. It's not as strong, But when you're kind of deep south, you can hear it. Also up kind of northwest, 183 area, Leander, Cedar Park. Tune in that station and keep Keith Perry in mind. You know, a donation or two. We've got these shirts that I'm wearing. We're selling them. They're 20 bucks. They're kind of expensive, but our deal is we're trying to make some money for Keith Perry for that micro broadcast station. And thanks for your time.
Let me just expand a little bit on what Keith was saying here. The United Nations, folks, is very public. They are calling for global gun control and worldwide abortion on demand. So this is this loving organization. They create peace through terror. They go in and blow up a city for peace. Okay, the next speaker, I'm going to bring up Mike Runyan. He also hosts, and I've got Greg Erickson over here. Mike Runyan also hosts a show on 95.9 Radio Tejas. Mike, good to have you here.
Thanks, Jeff. I appreciate everybody that showed up. I don't have a lot to say, but the UN, first of all, they're all my lifetime, I remember in school, our teachers in the Weekly Reader telling us how wonderful the UN is, and it's been Alger Hiss, the acting Secretary General, the first one was a communist, and they've been communists ever since. Kurt Waldheim, a Nazi, he did his tour as Secretary General before they figured that out. Check out what your kids are coming home with, folks. The UN rights of the child. That is the reason that you will be taken up on domestic violence charges when you spank your kid. It's all part of UN rights of the child. You need to look that up, and they're implementing it every day. And I too hope everybody shows up for the gun rally tomorrow. There's going to be a senator from New Hampshire. There's going to be a lot of good speakers. And you need to take the Constitution seriously. Also,
Amen.
when you're at a 7-Eleven and there's some police officers in there having coffee, go up, shake their hand, tell them what a good job they're doing, because the guys on the street, for the most part, are.
Yeah.
And explain to them about the oath that they swore to the Constitution, and how when they're going out kicking in people's doors, they're violating that oath, especially with no warrant, like this deal over in Houston. I don't know if any of y'all are familiar with the Oregon. Pedro Oregon was shot 12 times by the Houston gang task force. They didn't have a warrant. They had an unregistered informant. The people in Houston are real excited about this.
9 of the shots were in the back.
Yeah, they're in the back. I mean, he even shot the carpet. The kid didn't. They say he had a gun. He didn't fire this gun that appeared in his apartment. But this isn't over. And here's the thing where you can get involved. The district attorney of Houston, the police, even though they didn't have a warrant and they shouldn't have been there, they had the right to use deadly force. This has just recently been turned around, folks. Your God-given rights of self-protection are being violated, and you can turn this around in the state legislature. So call your legislators on this. I don't know. Listen to our station. I really do appreciate Keith Perry giving us the 3 hours a week that we have. Look some of this stuff up. You really need to find out what they're doing. Ask your kids what they're telling them in school. And God bless y'all, and thanks a lot.
Minutes from now, we're going to be burning this flag here, so you don't want to hang on here for that. I want to bring up a friend of mine, Access producer, co-host of my shortwave show for a while, Greg Erickson. Greg, come on up.
Now, first of all, I want to, why don't y'all give a hand for Jeff Davis? He's the one that put this thing together.
All right.
And this is really important, folks. I mean, we're talking life, death, good, evil. Our world's in an absolute state of emergency. Absolute state of emergency. 2 million people just died from starvation in North Korea. That's your responsibility. 35,000 nuclear warheads ready to fire. Even from space. It's called EKV satellites that can launch nuclear weapons from space. Sound like Armageddon to you? Our governments are corrupt to the core, including the United Nations. Corrupt to the core. And this can be proven, believe it or not. All you have to do is research the Freedom of Information Act passed in 1966. Millions upon millions of declassified documents that prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that our governments are corrupt. Your world leaders, many of your world leaders, they're a satanic group called the Illuminati, a worldwide network of corrupt people controlling you through consumerism. Many of our world leaders are pedophiles, child molesters, rapers, murderers, satanic worshipers. That's why you have war, folks. Do you know anybody that wants war? If you don't, then it must be our world leaders. The corrupt and the pedophiles and the deranged, they enjoy death. They enjoy destruction. They get off to it. That's where we're at, and we have been completely brainwashed, folks, all through the ages. This took thousands of years, folks. Didn't happen overnight. And the television is the perfect brainwashing machine. Perfect. Works so well, doesn't it, Jeff?
Powerful weapon.
Just keep an open mind, keep the faith, and expose this corruption and have a good time while you're doing it. Thank you very much.
All right.
Please consider coming down to the Travis County Commissioner's Court as I present to the commissioners of this county a resolution rejecting regional government.
Yes!
Yes, it's one of the most important projects, folks, that I've ever been involved with, and I've been studying it for a long time, and I'm going to be down there presenting it with them.
Yeah, I'd like to state real quick, I operate a commercial vehicle in this vehicle, and I do, from time to time, I see a lot of military movement. I see anti-personnel carriers being hauled in by semi-trucks. I mean, it's obvious. I mean, this is not a joke, this is real. Whenever I'm around or near a military-looking police officer, I ask him, are you part of a multi-jurisdictional task force? I'll start talking to him, you know, how are you, what do you do, and all that, and I'll ask him if he's military, and he'll say no. And I'll say, are you part of a multi-jurisdictional task force? And then he'll be quiet, and he won't say nothing. Then not 5 or 10 minutes later, I'll be surrounded by high-ranking DPS officers. This is real. When you ask the government what they're doing or just inquire, they respond very fast and very rapidly. So this is not a joke, this is real. And I see it on our streets and our highways. I can be going in Smithville. I see a lot of military movement. They are moving and making a move now. It's time that we as Americans draw a line in the sand. This is it. We're going to tell them we're not going to stand any more of this, and we can do this. Our Fourth Amendment protects us in our homes, in our vehicles, and our persons. Our First Amendment allows us to stand up like we're doing now and say, look, we don't like this tyranny. And our Second Amendment, I'm not even going to get involved in that because that just draws too much attention. So, God bless you all for being here, and thank you very much. And God bless America, and long live the Constitution.
Jesse Estrie has provided the music and the PR. Let's give her for this right here. We're going to go ahead and take a 5-minute break, and then we're going to get back. We got about 4 or 5 more speakers. Then we're going to get around to torching this thing. So just bear with us. Bear with us, folks. Yeah, Texans for Freedom, folks, providing the audio equipment. I want to thank the camera people that are out here, the Ritters, Recon. I'm going to ask Recon to step up from his camera and say a few words. Robert Kurtz hosts a show on Access. He's involved in a lot of things we're doing. God bless you, bro.
Boy, great looking bunch here. Appreciate y'all coming out. You know, I've been searching real close through documents like the Constitution, Bill of Rights, some of the old writings of the founding fathers. And for some odd reason, I can find no statements of where they were looking for a union of the world. That's pretty strange. It seems as though they wanted total sovereignty throughout the history of this great nation. For some odd reason, we're going the wrong way, aren't we? Think about it. I can't find anything either about how the government should get a patent on Terminator seeds. You ever hear of it? Seeds that'll grow and then there's no more crop after that. The problem with that is that the neighbor next to you, if their crop is germinated from the pollen of these seeds, that's their last crop. The only way they can grow seeds is to come back with the new Terminator seed, which the government, this government, has a patent on. So what are they looking for in the future? Well, if you want to feed this great nation, you have to buy our seeds. Doesn't that what it sounds like? I think so. Lastly, I want to ask those folks who believe in what we believe, but they don't have the nerve to come out here because they're afraid that somebody's going to take their picture, their boss is going to see about it, or they're going to lose business, or their church is going to get mad at them. Hypocrite. Did you ever stop to think that there are factions in government, in law enforcement, who are on our side? And wouldn't it be nice if they knew what you look like so that they could help you? Think about that one. Thanks, Jeff.
Yeah. Robert Curtis, folks. Who we have lined up here? Okay, where's Shonda at? Shonda? I want y'all to give a big hand to this young lady. She's working hard on that internet. Freedom Lovers International, Shonda Wigington.
I'm not real good about speaking in public, so you're going to have to forgive me, but has anyone ever heard of the International Police Association?
Yeah.
Do y'all know what it is?
No, what is it?
It is a group of policemen who get together and they're working underneath the United Nations. The International Police Association pretty much does everything that our normal police do, only they do it under the authority of the United Nations. I can give you the website to that. I don't have it with me right now, but if you'll call me at 512-933-1950, I will give you the website to that.
Donate it to the crowd.
Okay, my number, one more time, is 512-933-1950. I thought I'd throw that in there. Second of all, I'm not the only one on the internet working this thing. There are thousands of people out there on that internet who's working this thing. I would venture to say we have worldwide over 100 million people reading the email messages that we send out. It's not just in the United States, folks, it's all over the world. And they want us to keep our sovereignty, because if we lose it, the whole world loses. That's very important. I'd also, at this time, I want to thank someone who's not here right now. His name is William McNall. He forwards a lot of my email. I told him I would burn the UN flag for him too, because he can't be here. He's up in Arizona, I believe. And then there are others out there, and I can't believe that there aren't more people here, and I can't believe, I just don't understand the concept that I'm too afraid because I'm too much into the system or whatever. People, I'm on probation. I go to my probation officer every month and I tell her what I'm doing. If anybody can get thrown in jail, it's me. I'm mad because people are too scared to get up and stand up and say, you know, this is bullshit crap, you know? My mother's afraid I'm going to get kicked out of Texas. Can you believe this? I've got the right to stand up here. I had someone on the street one day. I was handing out pamphlets, and there was a policeman on a bicycle standing right next to me. Someone walked by and said, "Doesn't he intimidate you?" I said, "No. He's not there to harass and intimidate me. He's there to serve and protect me. And I know my rights, and he does too, and if you don't believe me, go ask him. And he heard me, and he didn't say anything, so apparently he knew I was in the right. Well, that's all I want to say. I want to thank you all for coming out here and having the guts to do it. And I guess Jeff will bring up the next speaker. I'm on probation. I'm on probation for failure to ID an 18-year-old who bought a 6-pack of beer. I got fined $400, court costs, $800 to my lawyer, 24 hours community service, a misdemeanor 1 class that cost me $50, and I went and there were 12 people there and only 3 of them deserved to be there. And I have to pay $40 a month for probation for a year. Now, and that's first offense. That's all I'd like to say. Thanks.
Shonda, you look like a real dangerous character.
Must be.
Okay, next speaker, Steve Mason. Now, Steve has a access show, or a producer of an access show. Dave Gamble's, well, go ahead. Just come on up here, bro.
All right, we're about to burn the UN flag here, but let's look at the other arm of the beast. We're all worried about UN peacekeeping forces and that the UN is going to make a standing army that the United States Army is going to be subservient to. It's not happening yet, but what we do have is NATO. And NATO does have the United States military by the short hairs. We're under treaty obligations with NATO to send our forces to protect these other countries if they come under attack. That was well and good maybe during the Cold War against the Warsaw Pact and the Russian threat. But since the global elite caused the breakdown of the Soviet Union, there doesn't likely seem much need for NATO anymore. And in fact, we're bringing in all these other countries who don't seem to have a particular national interest to the United States, those of Eastern Europe. And we're obligated to go to the defense of Eastern Europe if they should be attacked for any reason or become obligated to get involved in Yugoslavia. Because NATO's about to go in there, and American forces are more tightly tied by treaty obligations to do that. Another interesting thing is bringing all these former Eastern Bloc countries into NATO has a habit of baiting the big Russian bear. It's making them sore, and it's putting them under pressure and siege. And what it is it's an attempt to continue this standoffness and a continuation of a sort of another Cold War with Russia. So look out for NATO and watch what's happening with NATO in the future, because those are the ones who are going to be controlling American military forces, not just as figurehead of the United Nations. Thought you should know.
Okay, folks, now let me bring up a friend of mine who hosts the show on 98.9 KJFK and shortwave, as I do, international shortwave. Young guy's done a lot of. I gotta tip my hat to him. You know, the guy's got a lot of energy. He puts a lot of work into this. Mr. Alex Jones.
You know, I'm not even really here to speak to you guys. Almost all of you, I'm sure, probably know more about this than I do. We read about the worldwide convictions of UN so-called peacekeeping forces cutting the heads off little children. We see the butchery, the manipulation of the world economy. We see the IMF go into Russia and South Korea and tell them to quadruple their taxes because that's a free market reform. We see our local police coming more and more under federal control. We see the so-called anti-terrorism training going on in all the cities, the police girding themselves in black with ski masks. You know what I have to say to you. Get ready, because this is history. It repeats itself. Look at this century alone. Now, speaking to the law enforcement officers here, see, I have nothing to hide. I'm not a criminal. And I want them to know that. I want them to start going out and getting the child molesters and the murderers that we see in the back of the newspaper every week who are released to kill and kill and kill. They just found Colleen Reed's body a couple weeks ago.
Obviously.
But they'll put you in jail. And I don't even smoke marijuana, but they'll put you in jail for just a little bitty bag of marijuana, but let out some murderer. Now give me a break. They want to pack the prisons with nonviolent people, and then they turn loose just incredible hordes of criminals to run wild. And that is the Hegelian principle. You create a crisis, you create fear, you offer... Now the reason I've been on my crusade for 4 years now is because I hate bullies. And I hate people that are dumbing down our civilization. And that's the facts. Look at the test scores. I hate the IRS. To these law enforcement officers here, they can't go out and arrest somebody, at least not yet. I know they don't want to, unless they have probable cause. And then they can't convict them unless they've been proven guilty. You see, in America, it's different from Germany and Russia and China, with all the dictators they've had. The difference is you're innocent until proven guilty. But with the IRS, you're not innocent until proven guilty. And some of these police officers have skulls that are so thick, they take these criminal orders, they put in the Bell Lab thumb scanners and scan us like cattle. And they're so thick-skulled, they don't see the commercials on TV by Lockheed and by Visa talking about doing it to buy and sell and to cash checks. Wake up! These cameras aren't for the criminals on the street corners. These thumb scanners aren't for the criminals or the so-called illegal aliens. It's all to control us, the slaves, the serfs, the feudal system. The average American pays 62% in some form of tax. Serfs in ancient Europe only paid 20%. And you know, the government likes to say, and city planners like to say, that big government gave us these structures. No, it was the men and women that laid the mortar. It was the people that laid the asphalt. It's the people that work in the plants, the automobile plants, the power plants, which is all being shipped overseas. They're shutting down this nation. And they can make their jokes. I challenge these law enforcement officers to go to Walmart or any other store. 95% of the items are from out of this nation, from India, from China, from you name it. And that's a fact. That's a concrete fact. What are we supposed to fight the next war with? Wendy's hamburgers? We're going to throw hamburgers at them? And then you got to ask yourself, why is this happening to our country? Because we're America. We stood up to Adolf Hitler. We stood up to Stalin. We stood up to the British Empire and kicked their butt back in 1776. And we're going to do it again, George Bush. You're nothing but British agents. Let's take Franklin Delano Roosevelt. It's in the history books that his family was the heroin runners for the British East India Company. Yeah, heroin used to be legal. DPS, get your history. You men are just like the stormtroopers back in Germany in 1933. Most of them were decent people. But as it got bigger and bigger, the propaganda poured. By 1940, they were killing millions of people. Look at every other nation. From Africa to Central and South America to China to Cambodia to Vietnam to Eastern Europe. Death! 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 You fools! You're all going to pay in America for being weak and for laying down. Hand me that bullhorn. I'm having some problems.
You don't need a bullhorn. Tell them what you're always have a backup source. And I'm saying to people, the death threats to my person and my family and my friends and the harassment which we've documented now by the Tower records down at the Mueller Airport, I don't care. You see, the people that harass us, they're cowards and they think it's going to bother us. It's not. It's only going to reaffirm our spirit of freedom to stand up for our nation and not to let what we know is correct be washed away. That's what I'm here to talk about today. Tomorrow there's a big gun rally. I hope all of you come out, Jeff and everybody else. Because I want the law enforcement to know this. Starting next month, sir, yes, starting next month, federal registering of all guns. Oh, they say they're only going to hold the records for 18 months. Kind of like in 1936 when they said the Social Security number would never be used for personal identification. Yeah. It's incrementalism. They got the power, they just want more power. And make no mistake, they're enforcers, the law enforcement community, many of which are waking up, who are good people. We've got police officers here in the crowd. I have CIA agents on my radio program, FBI. What about Frederick Whitehurst, DPS, former head of the FBI crime lab? Came out and said the FBI manufactures evidence in every major case. When they go out and destroy the Murrah Federal Building, of course they got to manufacture some evidence. When they, it's not just me, it's the October 28th, 1993 New York Times. Sheikh Abdel Rahman, they gave those guys the bomb, helped them cook it, trained the driver on CNN, they admitted that Marines, I have a lot of friends that are Marines, current and former, they've all been asked the 29 Palms questionnaire, would you fire on U.S. citizens? Well, I've got the video, and I've heard it many times, of mock gun confiscations going on in Hebron, Maryland, September 3rd and 4th. FEMA with secret military teams took over Philadelphia 4 weeks ago. Allie Phillips, chief of police in San Antonio, threw out the Delta Force, as most of you see on our television shows, the interview, for trying to bribe him. They shot into an all-night restaurant, a training exercise in Miami. They're hiring a bunch of sociopaths. The good people are getting out. It's time for us to stand up. Every one of you is an educator and a teacher. Now get out there and win this game. We have got to fight and stand up. It's not going to be easy. But I'll assure you this. We can, and we will, and we must prevail.
By suspending more access Let's have a yes man roll call. Alex! You're there. I'm here. You're a fraud,
Okay,
Joe.
we got this back. We're backing up. Okay, I want to bring Rusty Fields up. Then we're gonna. Wes, you want to say something?
Where's your proof? If he's a fraud, where's
Well, we're almost closing in on it. We got about 20 more minutes, folks, and we're wrapping it up. Let me bring up another Access producer, another Access host, associate of George Humphrey, Rusty Fields. God bless you.
What's up today? Look at all these patriots. People that are not afraid to stand up for their rights, stand up for their liberties, stand up for what this country was founded on and what we still believe. We're a free people. We're a free nation only as long as we are vigilant, as long as we are aware and that make them know that we are aware. That's the only way we can be free. There are some people who would try to tell you that this just isn't necessarily so. Everything's okay. Don't worry about it. The government is here to help you. Alex Jones has a poster that I like a lot. It shows a guy in a black ski mask with an automatic weapon going, I'm from the government. I'm here to help you.
It's like in Waco.
That's the kind of help they want to give you. We don't want your help. Please quit helping us. Please quit helping us. United Nations is basically an organized terrorist organization. It's huge, it's massive, it's a tool of the international banksters and the power elite to try to subjugate the entire world, to subjugate, to overcome anything, to be over your constitution, your government, your local, state, federal governments, all of them. The United Nations is not a good thing. We don't want to be in the United Nations. I don't want to be a part of, and I think most of the folks here today don't want to be a part of, any organization that wants to dominate and control the world. Say no to the United Nations. Say no to the tyranny. Say no to the oppression. Say yes to liberty. Say yes to freedom. Keep standing up for your rights. God bless every person that's here and every person that believes in this nation. Thank you.
All right. Burn that sucker.
Okay, folks, we're now going to do what we came here to do in the first place. Y'all want to come in here closer? I think we're going to probably need a... How we going to do this? Yeah, a stick or something. Can anybody round up a stick or something?
A stick. Who has a stick?
We want to go in towards...
Hold it on the end until it gets ready. Shoot off the fast.
Surrounded by nations and you're plantation.
Don't get in front of the camera. Cut the heart out. There you go. Ready. What we say to Terry right here, brother.
We're gonna tell them we the people.
This is the follow organization. Alex, burn it!
We the people, everybody get on. we can have the world breakfast for breakfast. I don't know. Because we
Watch out, burn that baby. Yeah, they're like this. Here we go. An American-made Zippo. American-made lighter that make the rag.
They can't make us, they can't break us. Seen the Ryan so long. Our system for global communism.
Here we go.
We're gonna have to take some radio stations. We're trying to get them playing our songs. And if they flat refuse to play Patriots music, then we'll know whose side they're really on. Then when we take it to the streets of our cities, we'll force the media to cover our actions. And when we vote, we're gonna dominate the coming elections. Make the Rockefellers wonder what happened. We said we ain't gonna fight. And we ain't gonna trade. And we ain't gonna keep ain't no border, 'cause we ain't gonna fight for the new world order.
Nylon pieces of garbage.
God bless the Republic.
I'm at the back cloth for next year.
We cannot fail. Death to the new world order.
Somebody.
We shall prevail.
There we go. America. Be careful. They're just liberal rag, Austin. American snake statesman. Right here it is, folks. This is broken. Everybody.
My gun from my cold dead hands. Global corporations, they have billions that they pay to the greedy politicians who make sure things go their way. They tax us into poverty and we elect them day to day to the level of useless interests. They get to have a say. You want to press this constitution? Let that Russian gun from my cold dead hand. In every mainstream history, just and the opposition band.
That's what we say in this new world order, baby. Get it with the rest of the trash. Well, it looks good now. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think they have baby burn.
What we think about their new world order right here.
Oh, okay.
If the general public thinks the United Nations is the TV station event with Disney,
I'm going with a dollar bill, so it's not worth the paper it's printed on.
That's right, yes. Folks, if you burn a UN flag, you might as well burn the people who finance the UN. Right here is a Federal Reserve note. It's a note. I'm going to burn this thing. Compliment the CFA.
Gun from my cold dead hand. Take your globalist agenda and you run on your take my gun from my cold dead hands. The party uninfringed, do you not understand? You can take my gun from my cold dead hand.
Right here, death to the New World Order. This says New World Order printed on the back of it. Death.
I'll see you guys.
What Jeff is buying is the mode of your slavery. Total unmitigated fraud. They're going after after Microsoft right now for a monopoly? There's 5 different operating systems plus. There's only one Federal Reserve controlled by central banks in Europe. Even Forbes will tell you that. That's the truth. That's what has to be dealt with by all the UT professors of the world. All the people that bow down before the foundation money they suck off of. That's what we got to stand up to, is the parasites.
Call me a bootlicker, please.
Well, we have someone who wants to be called a bootlicker over here. That's what it comes down to. America, come on, let's cheer for the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. Hip hip hooray! Come on, cheer for your country. Get fired up. Get fired up for your country. On 3, let's say long live the Constitution. God bless the Republic. All right.
Everybody that wants to come up here doesn't mind getting on video. Come on up here real quick.
Why do you think? Come on, let's do it.
Come on, everybody up here. Come on. If you don't mind getting on video,
let's do it, guys.
You may be on TV.
We'll stand up for our forefathers that died in World War I and World War II, Korea and Vietnam. We'll stand up against global tyranny.
Okay, come on up here, folks. If you don't mind being on TV. Anybody's proud to stand up here.
All right. Now remember.
Okay, this may be on TV. There you go. Okay, on 1, 2, 3, we're going to say, God bless the Republic of the United States, death to the New World Order. 1, 2, 3. God bless
the Republic of the United States and death to the New World Order. Let's get one more time. Let's do it one more time. Get it back for ready. Now we're saying, tell us what we're saying, Jeff.
God bless you, the Republic, and to the United States, and death to the New World Order.
1, 2, 3. God bless the Republic and the United States, and death to the New World Order. Yeah.
Yes, thank you very much, folks. I think that's going to go ahead and wind it up here.
Hey, I want to thank everybody for coming out. Tomorrow, 1 o'clock, big gun rally. They're registering the guns starting next month. With
Thanks for showing up.
Brady Phase 3 is a waiting period for ammunition.
Don't forget about the conference tomorrow, Downsized Government Conference at the Chariot Inn on North I-35.
The bureaucrats want to push you around.
9 a.m.
Time to stand up and get your firearms.
Don't forget about Tuesday, the county resolution. Jeff Davis is going to introduce
It's the best and most comprehensive book on Bohemian Grove, and it's written by Mike Hanson, my old camera guy.
Mike Hanson Archives. Did you ready to fight?
I can't wait, Alex, until your great-great-grandchildren see how good you were back in the day, in the 1990s. And also, we also have a, if you look below here, we have a nonprofit organization called Gonzales Association of Patriots. And of course, 100% of that goes to helping elderly people here. We put up 112 people during the freeze, February of 2021. Those people would have froze to death if we would not have put them up in our hotel here in Gonzales, Texas. People were having accidents on the highways. They had nowhere to go. People's water and electricity was cut off. They had nothing. Thank God that, we made it through that. That was just something else for Texas to have that freeze. And it lasted for a whole week. And we put them up. It just about exhausted our, it did exhaust our donations for our nonprofit. So if you look below, and I want to thank the mayor of Gonzales, Texas. If you ever get a chance to tell, she bought all that food that back in February for all those people out of her own pocket, and then the news had tried to criticize it for. If she wouldn't have opened up these shelters, people would have froze to death. Their fingers would have been frostbitten in on their toes, just like what happened in Austin and Houston. So I want to commend our mayor here in Gonzales, Texas. Miss Connie.
Thank
There you go.
Everybody.
Buy what you want with it. Buy you something nice once in a while.
I love you, Mike.
Yeah.
God bless you.
You know, people donate money to us, and that's how we get this money.
Thank you.
So if anybody, you know, wants to know more about our organization, we're here in Gonzales, Texas at P.O. Box 481.
Thank y'all very much, and God bless everybody that helps people around that are in need. God bless y'all.
Okay, we'll see you next time,
Que
Peggy.
pase buen día, señora.
Gracias.